Hello, BookTube. I have an Am Reading video for you here, worshipfully imitating Adam at Memento Mori. Even though on his latest cool West Coast video, it wasn't particularly friendly to Steve. And it's just to show you some of the things that I'll be reading this weekend. It's a very short list this time around because I will be doing a lot of deadline reading this weekend, a lot of stuff that is it's below the radar of BookTube. It needs to be done for money, but otherwise it's not worth talking about. But I have four books here that I wanted to feature on Am Reading, dude. And they all have one thing in common. They're all fiction. And the reason they're all fiction is because I'm getting a burst of it out of the way, because I've decided that in honor of Nonfiction November, I'm going to read only nonfiction in November. The only fiction I will read in the month of November will be deadline stuff for money. So if I am commissioned to review something for money, then I will read it even if it's fiction. But otherwise, it's all fiction, baby, all November. So for this weekend, I'm giving myself a blowout of fiction, starting with two rereads that I can't wait to get to. The first one is this, something I mentioned on this channel just recently. It's Delderfield's God is an Englishman. Let me see if we can get this to... Yeah, there we go. A little bit better. And if you notice, well, you wouldn't notice. Why would you care? I did a paperback repair of some Delderfield mass markets a little while ago. And during that repair, I said that the reason I'm repairing my mass markets instead of going to hardcovers like I have with the bulk of my collection is because I love the artwork on the old paperbacks, and that the hardcovers didn't have that artwork. Well, totally unbeknownst to me, this thing exists. This is God as an Englishman with the cheesy, glorious paperback artwork. Only it's a hardcover. So I found this for like 10 cents. I'm going to fix it so that it's it's got pieces hanging off, and I'm going to fix it so that it's perfectly fine. And I as a pure pleasure added bonus, when I do that, I'm going to reread it. It's been probably 20 years since I raised God as an Englishman, and I want to see if it's improved any. Then the next one is an all-time favorite of mine for fiction. I just found it for 10 cents, and I don't have it in hardcover. It's The Fire from Heaven by Mary Renault, and it's about the boyhood of Alexander the Great. And those of you who know me in real life, or know me for any length of time, I praise Mary Renault to the skies. Her historical novels are utterly fantastic, and this I actually think might be the best of them all, even better than The Last of the Wine, which is a novel about the Peloponnesian War that is just superb. This might be even better. It's incredibly subtle and sensitive as a novel just of boyhood and boyhood friendships, and the way those friendships cross the horrible Terminator into adulthood and what happens to them. But also, as far as subtlety and intelligence goes, as an examination of being gay as a young man and exploring that, learning about it for the first time. I don't know. I mean, this came out when? This came out 60 years ago? I should know this. When did Fire from Heaven? 1969. Despite the fact that it came out all that time ago, I don't know of any examination of that particular subject that's ever been done better, especially in fiction. And it's also thrilling, just thrilling. Oh, this author, I tell you, there's nothing she can't make exciting. Horse races, wrestling matches, sure, those are exciting anyway. But she makes ordinary conversation just thrilling. So you're on the edge of your seat wondering. Her conversations successfully capture the way conversations often do feel very important when we're in the midst of having them. I can't praise her books high enough, and I was so happy to find Fire from Heaven. This also needs a little bit of repair, and I'll be happy to do that. And I figured while I'm doing it, I might as well reread it. And then the next two books are new. The last two books that I will read before December. The first one we've seen on this channel before. It's Book of American Martyrs by Joyce Carol Oates, an author I used to hate and have come to like more and more over the years. She's she's a perfect example in my mind of the perils of complacency. 30 years ago, if you'd have asked me, I would have said, here's an author who does no good and will never do good. And I was completely wrong. And who knows who I'm wrong about now that I'm saying that about. But I love that the openness to constantly re-examine your certainties. That's a big part of what reading's about for me. And this is an author who proves the value of doing that, because otherwise, if I hadn't done that, I would have skipped her last 4 books, which were all great. So I'm looking forward to this. Big hopes for this. And then there's this thing, 4321 by Paul Auster. This is his big new book coming out in January. I have friends who are reading it now. It's going to be reviewed everywhere in the critical world. Unfortunately, even I will be reviewing it. And I don't particularly like reviewing fiction, but I will be reviewing this for the Christian Science Monitor, so I will have to give it a lot of serious attention. Auster has never impressed me. I'm not one of the acolytes that he has all over this country and all over England, but I'll give it a try anyway. And that's it. That is my Friday. That is my am reading. I almost said Friday reads. God, how lame. It's just 4 books, all novels. And then I commence with November and nonfiction and a great wall. So let me know in the comments field what you're reading, BookTube, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.